It's that time again for another wrap-up video. And listen, for the month of July, I met my goal of reading 10 books. However, the books weren't what I expected. I was a little disappointed, but listen, I had one saving grace. And so let's get into the books I read for July 2020. If you are new here, my name is Darnaya, Darice, first name, middle name. It is August 1st when I'm taping this, 2025, and it's actually my birthday. I'm 39. Can you believe it? 39 years here. Oh my gosh, the time is going by way too fast, but it's okay. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep elevating. We're gonna keep thriving. You do the same, okay? So now I'm not gonna go in order of the books that I actually read. I'm just gonna go through them all. So I read book 2 in the Green Sister series, the partner plot. I'm adding the S. It does not have an S, Darnaya. The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. And I enjoyed this book. Was it as good as The Neighbor Favor or as in depth? No, but I enjoyed it. I'll give this about a 3.75. It does, like, if you look at the cover, I know some people were like, it's giving Vegas vibes, but the story's not in Vegas for real. You know, it's one of those stories where you're like, why? It's one of those stories where you're following the other sister. So in the first book of the series, you're following Lily. This book, you're following Violet. And Violet is more, she's very vibrant. She kind of says what she want to say. She's very kind of upfront. She's the fun sister. She's the sister who wants things to get going. She was engaged in the first book, and in this book things happen, and she actually finds the person that actually really likes her. And it's kind of a second chance romance, if you will, but it's not one where you're like, oh yeah, that will happen that way. So you kind of want to go in with that. Is it Christina's best work? I don't know. This is the only second book I read by her. This is literally this series, the first series I ever read by Christina Forrest, and I'm not disappointed. Christina Forrest, she seems like the author that if you're in a reading slump, you need something quick and easy to read, you can pick up her books. All right. Then I was going to read When I Think of You, or I started reading When I Think of You, and I got to, I don't know if it was like 10 or 20 pages, and I was like, no. And this is Maya Ariel's first book. I do plan to finish it one day, but I DNF it. I didn't like the story. The story started out, it was like, okay, you're doing too much for somebody you haven't seen in like over what, 7 to 15 years or something. She run into her ex-boyfriend from college who happens to show up at her job. She works at like a Hollywood production company, and then she kind of started losing his way. Oh my God, he's here. You know, what is he doing here? I'm starting to get all these feelings, and I'm like, we're doing too much. Like, grow up. You know, I had to put it down. I didn't enjoy it, but I do plan to give it another shot, just at another time. And so instead of reading this one that was on my TBR, I switched it to go ahead and finish the series for the Green Sisters. This is book 3. So after The Neighbor Favor, Partner Plot, it is Love Lyric. I enjoyed the Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. I enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed it a little bit better than The Neighbor Favor. The Neighbor Favor was like a 4. I give this a 4.25. And the reason is because it was a wholesome read. The love interest in here, Angel, he's been eyeing and wanting to talk to. This is the last sister. Iris is her name, and she is the sister who went to an Ivy League. She is kind of one of the head execs and leaders in her marketing company that she works for. And the singer Angel is one of her sister's, Violet's, what do you call it? She's the stylist for this her sister is the stylist for this singer here. And Angel is the singer in here, and he is a overall wholesome, sweet, kind guy who is aware. Unfortunately, he goes through some challenges with his mom because his mom is hyper religious, and so she one of those who you don't sing the devil's music and all this stuff, and it's just like, grow up. Okay, the mom here is very immature. It's like, please grow up. But the way he approaches the relationship in this, the way it happens, how she takes ownership and how she takes accountability, responsibility, because she's the responsible sister, it was so wholesome to see. And she kind of really took her time, because for a few years Angel's been asking her sister Violet to go out with her again or to see her again, and they run into each other at different events, and you know, she doesn't really lean in right away because she goes through, hold on, okay, had a call there, but she goes through something in her life with she was married previously, and so read this. It's very light. It's good to me. I enjoyed that series, and so I closed that out. So wasn't too bad with that. Then I also read part of My Frenchie by Farrah Rashan. This was a new author to me. This book, it was 3.75. You know, it was okay. It's cute. Dog lovers will possibly love this book. The way the main character, female in this book, she has her own like doggy daycare type of business, and then there's a guy who was in the military who comes and moved back home in Louisiana, or New Orleans, Louisiana, and his grandmother is like in a nursing home or assistant living home because she hurt her hip or something like that, and they kind of cross paths, and he has to pick up her grandmother's dog, and you know, it was okay. It wasn't horrible. Moving on. The mixtape. I was expecting to enjoy this book by Brittany Cherry. This is my second read by Brittany Cherry. I read If You Stayed by her first. I thought I was going to enjoy this. I heard good things about it, but I did not enjoy. It was a disappointing read. I did not enjoy. I was ready for it to be over. The first 60 pages was so repetitive to me. Like, you know, there's these twins who are singers. They're like R&B/pop stars, right? And something happened at the very beginning, so it starts off pretty much right away. And they're dealing with two personalities, so both twins are kind of nice and cool, but one is more outgoing, one is more introvert, so he doesn't like to stay in events long. You know, he likes to kind of stay to himself, and he feels like some of the fans like the other twin more. And then you have Emery. Emery is a single mom in this book. She's a young mom, and she's trying to find her way, and then she runs into one of the twins at her bartending job, or she works at like a cafe type of bartender bar job, and he so happened to be there getting drunk. Things happen, and she helps him out, take him to her apartment, and it wasn't realistic. It was the way that the character Emery, the girl interest in here, I did not like her chapters. I preferred Oliver's chapters more so, which was one of the twins. It's Alex and Oliver, and if this book follows Oliver and Emery, and it was just unrealistic. Like, you gotta let me know if you read this. I didn't feel like it was very realistic, so I was disappointed. But the book that got me out of the disappointed phase in July was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This was my very first book by Tia Williams. This was gifted to me the month before last, and thank you, Jordan Bookshelves, again, because this was so good. This was a 5-star read. When you're talking about mature writer who can write a full story with depth, is dealing with so many themes. You're dealing with self-harm here, self-love. You're dealing with teenage romance here, but it wasn't really more so about the romance. It was about how to manage life when you don't have parents who are there for you. Parents are negligent, or they're not there at all. The parents are doing things that put their kids in harm's way. Like, this deals with so much. You're dealing with people who eventually become successful writers, you know, they become famous authors, and they run into each other at an author event. Like chapter 6, was like the best chapter, when the two characters in here, they're both writers, both excellent writers, and their books are doing well, and they're at an author event, and they happen to run into each other, and they're on a panel together. That panel was everything. If you read this, let me know how you felt about 7 Days in June. It gives you something to think about how you treat your kids, how your kids observe what you're doing, and how it impacts them on their end, and how they infuse the trials and traumas and tribulations and their hardships, how they navigate and move through life in their adulthood, and how that takes them into their own parenting. So I would highly recommend, if Tia Williams is if you're new author to her, 7 Days in June, absolutely. Then I read her new release, which was this year, which was part of the gift to me as well. Audrey and Bash Are Just Friends. This was pretty good. This is kind of like a follow-up. You get insight into her daughter years later, because the daughter in 7 Days in June is like at the end of middle school. She's like in 7th grade, I believe, and then in this book she's a junior in high school, and she's navigating. The daughter is very kind of witty, she's funny, she's smart, but at the same time you see her going through those childlike growing pains of how, when her mother in this book now is married, has another baby, and she's dealing with the new baby in the home. She's feel like she's not getting as much attention, and she's like, oh, I have to be the golden child. If I do one thing wrong, then you're gonna be upset. You know, I don't want to burden you. I definitely relate to that. This was 4-star read for me. It goes into her love interest as her first love interest, high school sweetheart, if you will, and you kind of see the parents navigating how they treat her and how they treat, okay, this is my child who makes good grades, she never caused any problems, what's going on, and she's trying to figure it out. She's also worried about college and trying to give her best in order to apply to the college she wants to go to. It's a pretty good read. It's a YA. So if you're a young adult reader, or even just a parent, you would still enjoy this book. All right. Then I read a lot of new authors to me this go month. This is a series. I've seen a lot of people have The Professor, but the first part of the series, The Resemblance, it's a pretty good series. If you like crime, detective work, this basically follows Detective Marlett, both of these, just in different ways. In the first one, she gets caught up in the investigation. She is working for the police department that's near a college campus in Georgia. I believe it's the University of Georgia. And in here, one of the students get hit by a car, and then this one is actually about, as the title, The Professor. And ironically, her mom is a professor at the college as well, but this book is not about necessarily her mom. This is focused on one of her mom's co-workers, other professors who also teach German, and they think she is involved with one of the students that something happened to, and so the mom asks Marlett to investigate that, because she says, no, my friend, my other professor, she's not guilty of this. Please investigate more. So in this book, she is on active duty. This book, she's no longer on active duty because things happen in this book that leads her here. So I would recommend both books, but this one is the better one out of both of these. Okay. And almost done here, so thank you for staying long. I've also read King of Ashes. Everybody, obviously, S.A. Cosby is a great writer. Everybody raved about this book. They said it was going to be great, you know, and I actually was not in the mood for this book. Like, I was ready for it to be over. I'm like, okay. Yeah, and it follows a family. The family, each of the children have their issues. They're grown children doing their own thing. The parents own, like, they are the ones who burn the bodies, whoever wants their loved ones cremated after they pass away. Their parents own crematory that way, and they handle the getting the bodies prepared to be cremated and that sort of thing. And they're in a lot of drama. The mom has been missing for about 15 years, I believe, or a long 19. It was something like that, a long time. And then the dad got hit by it was like a train or something, and the brother comes back in town. There's one older brother, another brother, and then a sister, and it's some whole drama that's going on. I flew through this book. I'll have to go back and visit this when I'm in the mood, but I didn't enjoy it like I enjoyed the other ones. Razor Blade Tears is still my top book by S.A. Cosby, and then All the Sinners Bleed. I did also enjoy My Darkest Prayer. That was his first book, and that was a little funny, but that was my third favorite, and this will be my last favorite. But S.A. Cosby is still autobi. He's a great writer, great storyteller. I was just not in for the story. And then lastly, I did read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was literally read this week. This is the last week of July, okay? And it was good. It's Taylor. She writes a great story. This story is following Joan, and Joan is an astronomer. She works at Rice University, but she wants to do more. Her vision is to get to space. She wants to be kind of that feel of an astronaut, and so she applies. The first time she didn't get into the women's program because she got word, her sister let her know, hey, NASA is having a program for women. That program didn't work out, but she applies again and she gets accepted to be one of the finalists, and she makes her way in, and it follows her story and her love story with another candidate, astronaut candidate, called Vanessa, and you get that story. And this you have to, if you're a mood reader, you have to be in the mood for that, but you get a good bit of science information if you want to learn a little bit more about space, about NASA, about the trials, what they have to deal with, those pressures of literally leaving this atmosphere and going to a different one where your bodies we have to do adjustments, we have to wear suits and all that, you know, anything can go wrong if the math isn't right. If you're in the mood for it, this will be a good read. You really can't go wrong with Taylor Jenkins Reid or S.A. Cosby, but I would say you have to, for some of their stories, you have to be in the mood to read it and be interested in it to read it. So wait till you're interested in reading. If you're not in the mood for it, don't read it because you may be disappointed. But other than that, that closed out my reading month. I got those 10 books and I am ready to get to my August TBR. So if you didn't watch that video, go ahead and check it out. It's not long, okay? It's not longer. Guys, sorry. Everybody. But I have my August TBR, and I think I have 8 books that I want to read, but I think I'm going to add one more. And if you watch my collectible classics video where I show 7 classics that I want to read this year, then you would see this book, Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This is short. I kind of want to start August with something quick and short where I know I can read really quickly and be done and move on, but also learn from and get a classic in. So I may go ahead and throw this on my TBR. So I may end up reading 9 books, but we shall see. But in the meantime, in between time, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And always remember to keep rising.
I'm telling you that there ain't no other way. Pack your bags and leave.